This one camera in particular has not been working all day today. It's been very weird.
There we go. You can see me?
Yeah, I can see you fine. And you're on camera now.
All right, good.
Your lighting doesn't look any different. Told me it would be.
It's so bright. It's so bright.
It looks a little brighter on you.
It's so bright.
Works great with the green screen though. Green screen looks very clean actually with this.
Yeah, it is. There's way fewer shadows, which is the whole thing. I've got blinding.
All right, Shay, sounds good. Just let me know. I appreciate you. Happy
right.
XL, you definitely should be. Philip, oh, nice. You were playing. Wait, you played Factorio today? Oh my gosh, cool. Man, I do not know why my C20's not working. I'm gonna have to unplug this and replug this in.
Okay. You want me to just do the intro while we're doing that? Because I'm ready to go. Oh, how about that? He walked away. Live on time, on point, can be free of charge. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 203rd live edition of the long time coming, high anticipated, never duplicated program feature. Nickel Standard, clean, compensated talents, William Bishop, like ever. Stay up with me. You got to name here, three people, 2 tips, 1 dream, broadcasting class. Train wreck. About you is Corey on Media, PlayStation, YouTube, iTunes, all the other tunes available from every coast to every coast. And now here he is, right on time, putting his earbuds in.
Hi.
If you would aim about.
Give me just a second.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what's on now.
Working on it.
The PAX East Traveler.
There you go.
There we go. Very good. Looking good. The Fez.
Hi.
We are in. Mr. William Bishop.
Hello.
How you doing?
You ready for PAX East? You stoked for it?
Okay. What's going to happen for PAX East? I wish that you and I on Friday. I think I'm going to do it on Friday. I think for the big reveal, I would actually like to not see. For suit night. You and I were kind of just getting dressed and getting ready to go out, right?
Sure.
And there was no big reveal of me seeing you in a suit because you were like putting pieces of your suit on.
Okay. Yeah.
Friday morning.
You know how much pushback you gave me on the suit? You're wearing a suit? You're going to wear a suit? You're still going to wear a suit?
No.
You're going to wear a suit?
No.
You were shocked. You were like rolling in it. You're like, what?
Yes.
I wanted to have my suit. I didn't have my suit. I should have known.
If I had known we were going to do suit night, it's going to be suit night.
I started putting my suit on, and Blake's like, this guy's too fucking sexy. I can't handle it.
That's right.
What's going on here? I need to have my suit on.
Suits, man. I dig me some suits.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't let you know. I didn't realize you would have been into it.
So dude, I am down. I'm totally down. There's no pushback. I was just like, hey, let's do this thing. Let's do suit night.
Maybe I was pushing myself back. I think we're going to be rolling deep at East, suits-wise.
Good. Deep. Good. We should do suit night. So, not only am I doing suit night, but on Friday morning, you and I are going to be getting our outfit on. But I'm going to be getting a special outfit on.
Oh, that's right. Is this your cosplay?
Yeah, I've never done anything like.
I'm going to have to cancel our camera for just a second.
I am completely dismissive of that whole movement.
The cosplay thing?
I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't.
Really?
I don't know. I guess it's cool when someone dresses up and they get it really good. Like, okay. Very rare do I see one and go, wow, right? It's very rare to do the wow.
Okay, we're going to do something weird here.
Okay, there we go. Join call?
Yeah, join call.
Done.
What?
Hang on, guys.
This camera's... Yeah, sorry about this. There we go. Okay.
You can still see me?
This might...
Oh, no,
no, I can't see you. Let's see. So we're going to be...
Now turn it back
Let's see if we can... Aha, look. I think I actually got this to work. I'm not sure if Flesh has a camera even.
Yeah.
I'll have a symbol there. Hey Flesh, you're live now. Can we hear you though?
Maybe.
Nope. Maybe. No audio for us. Okay, we were talking about East.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be on Friday where I'm going to do the thing. You can tell me Friday or Saturday, but I don't want to do it on Thursday.
On Friday night?
No. The outfit.
The cosplay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in our history of conventions, the ones that stick out to me are the redonkulous ones where the dude is basically in a mech suit. That he had to have handlers to wander around.
That does stick, or he's got like a crew around him to make sure.
Crew around him in order to have him not step on somebody. The other one, the only other one, there's two of them. There's two of them that stick in my memory. Is there was the dude that dressed up as God of War guy.
Now you can hear me probably.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, good. I was like wondering.
Whoa. hold on.
Something got messed up in my Discord settings.
There you go.
Am I too loud?
No, hold on. Let me talk for me.
Yeah, Badger will adjust you.
Hello there. I guess. I don't know. I'm really bad at just talking.
It's a practice skill, that's for sure.
All right, there we
Keep
go.
talking for me though.
Yeah. Okay. So hello everybody. My name is Flesh. I speedrun games.
Okay, it's good now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Hi, Flesh.
Thanks.
How are you doing?
Hi.
So we're gonna have Flesh
Yeah.
talk about his speedrunning podcast today and about himself a little bit.
I guess so.
Do you
yeah.
have the link to share with chat for your speedrunning podcast? Because I would like to
Oh,
see
okay.
it. We'll pull it up here. We'll
Yeah.
show it off as well. Because you put a ton
I
of
will
work into this already, is why I wanted to have you on here and talk about it a little bit.
Oh, cool. I mean, I'm still pretty new to this, but I definitely tried to be as serious as I could.
Well, it looked
about
very
this.
serious to me. Exceedingly serious.
Yeah. Thanks. That like it's so like when I was doing more recent episodes and reaching out to more people, I got one really cool guest in my show, and since then I got like a lot more listeners, and I was like, I could have never imagined that so many people would listen to this. So it like seriously makes me really happy deep inside.
Deep inside. On the surface level
yeah.
too, I suspect.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I dropped the link just in Twitch chat.
And
So from there,
perfect.
from that link, you can like access to every other podcast platform. Like it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I believe too, or it's pending to be on Apple Podcasts. But like on most podcast services, you will find the App Store. My podcast is already on.
Boom, look at
And,
this.
Like I have only 4 episodes, but I'm definitely working on reaching out to more people. Reaching out to people is definitely the thing that I'm most scared of, and it's like the biggest thing to overcome, because like I see myself as so little in this scene, and then reaching out to like, I don't know, a very good serious speedrunner is like, how am I supposed to tell them, hey, do you want to join me? It's like such a scary thing, but most people actually have like every person has really positive response to this. So yeah. And like most people also were like really happy once they were there. So I believe it's just practice to get used to that, to open yourself up and tell people what you want to do, and then they join, and it's all cool and crazy.
We have the same problem here. We have trouble inviting people to come on all the time. Even though we're like, hey, we should have so and so on. It's so hard to be like, hey, will you come do this? Will you come schedule this? Like scheduling this with you was like, hey, we'll be here at this time. Will that happen? So I like the setup that you have. You're on all these different platforms and stuff like that. Really, I wanted to have you come on here and talk about a couple different things. Because one of the first things that I saw was avoiding burnouts and other pitfalls in speedrunning, is an interview you did, which is a favorite subject of mine, and I think is a big topic for everyone in the speedrunning community.
Yeah. So my general approach with all of this is like, first when I started to do more content outside of Twitch, I was like, hey, I want to make YouTube videos where I talk about speedrunning, but not just about, hey, this is this specific trick or that's that specific world record. I want to make videos where we talk about things like mentality, how you not burn out, how you don't stress yourself with like perfectionism, because like most speedrunners want to be so perfect that the moment they do a tiny little mistake, they start to hate onto themselves, which is like the worst thing you could do.
Easy to do, super easy
on the long term.
Easy.
But every speedrunner does it, especially if you're super serious about it. And I want to make videos talking about these topics because I feel like speedrun community has so many awesome content creators, but I have barely found people who actively talk about that in a long run. Like, there are people in the streams talking about that, obviously, every now and then, but there are not so many people on YouTube talking about these topics. So that's why I want to create something
or on
like
Spotify,
this.
or on iTunes, in a podcast format.
On
there's
podcasts, yeah. Like most podcasts, they are out there. There are people just talking about their speedruns, which is also, cool, getting people more into the speedrun or getting some insights. But I also feel like these mentality topics are as important. So that's why I want to talk about these, because I generally love to talk about like mentality. Like, I have multiple people in my Twitch chat most of the time. They have a very negative mindset towards themselves, and I'm always that person that like tries to talk positive to them and show them with an example of mine that a positive mindset can help you out a lot, at least to not feel bad about yourself.
I think Twitch has that problem a lot, actually. I think there's plenty of people here on Twitch in general that suffer from just lack of confidence all the time is a big deal. for
It's
them.
like common human nature, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm just casually standing here. Hey, Borg, how you doing?
No,
so-
I was looking. I was looking through the podcast as I was
exactly
watching.
what he's doing. So
I
yeah,
was
I mean, so we've been
going
doing
through
this
Anchor
podcast
FM
for
and-
how long now, Blake? Years now, and we don't have this set up.
203 episodes.
Flesh set this up already. In fact, he was super prepared for this. This is one of the things that was interesting. So Flesh basically pitched me to come on to the podcast for him and talk about my mentality and speedrunning and stuff like that and how it affects me. And I was like, hey, wait a second. How about you come help me out, dude, stream, so that we can talk about it. So you have a YouTube channel, you have the Spotify. That link that you posted in anchor.fm Flesh177. If you want to go give those a listen, that's where it's all at. You can see it all there.
Very good.
I like that you have all this set up, Flesh. It's really good. I think that but I also think that there's a lot to do still on this.
Oh.
I think the branding is like, okay, so actually the biggest thing that encouraged me to have you on here was how you had everything set up and the idea behind the podcast itself. But then I think that there's been we could do more execution on the Twitter, on having like more accurate to the podcast branding. Your Flesh, yes, but I think there needs to be like a Twitter that's, positivity speedrunning podcast or something, whatever, however you want to name it. I think that's some of the things that I would mess with basically. Flesh itself, yeah, sorry, I was ragging on you, I guess, earlier for being Flesh177. Numbers are bad, Clowntown. Numbers in your name are bad. Take them out if ever possible. Be Flesh Gaming, be Flesh Stick, be Flesh Light. I don't care. Do something besides Flesh177, okay?
Like. I'm zen with it, actually.
We have a question from chat. I suppose we can take West. How are you zen with it? You're thinking about changing all the time. Does Flesh think that tool-assisted speedrun is a valid separate category for speedrunning?
Great question.
I think it's a terrible question.
I actually do believe yes. Like the entire task community is like so unknown outside, like on the outside. Like there are multiple groups of people. Like for my speed game Celeste, for example, there's like an entire like multiple text chats just for tasking in the overall Celeste Discord. And there are like multiple people trying to figure out together what the best route is. And
That's
I
cool.
believe from other speed games, there are even like in Mario 64 and Mario Odyssey, I believe, there were challenges. Like the community came up with a task challenge and they throw it up, and then taskers get like a week or two to come up with the best solution. Like, for example, the first level, grab that and that many coins and that specific star. And then you saw the taskers coming up with all different kinds of crazy ideas. It's like really, really cool. And tasking is like definitely an underestimated skill. Like, obviously,
It's useful for runners too. I think that tasking helps out speedrunners to show you what
totally
you can
is.
do.
Yeah, in Celeste, for example, most like important early game or most important movement tricks got all discovered through tasking.
I bet.
Like all the glitches that were like discovered very early on in Celeste got discovered through tasking, because taskers messed so much with the game that they figured out new stuff. And I mean, they have a better look into the game. Like they got data out of it consistently, and it's like really cool.
I really
In
think
other
this
games,
question was obviously bait. I think that he knew that you would answer this way, West dude. I think TAS is obviously something that should be done in whenever it possibly can, because like I said, it's a tool for human speedrunners to learn from. And having that tool-assisted aspect just kind of allows you to mess with your game a lot more and see what can be done. So yeah, TAS is fun. I think it's a good mentality to have, to be able to willing to let TAS be a thing too, like not gatekeep anyone who wants to do TAS.
Right.
And to be honest, on like marathons, it's like the craziest showcase you can give. To be honest, like GDQ task block is like always a highlight for me personally.
It's very cool to see the game you like pushed
Yeah.
to the extreme, to the most extreme.
So is it just like you're entering in sequences of movements and sequences of commands into a list with timing and all of that?
It can be a lot.
Basically, yes.
It can be tons of different stuff.
You're basically programming a machine, inputting frame perfect inputs over and over and over, and you can like set every input to a specific frame you want, and with that you can like execute tricks that are not humanly possible. That's basically what tasking is all about.
So TAS also is like RNG manipulation. So monitoring RNG as
Yeah.
it flows through the game, and then taking an action at a time to make something happen. That's
Right.
also part of tool assist. So you can look at the game code as you go. The bot can have understanding of the game code, still make perfect movements every single time, and then manipulate in that way. So it's very multifaceted.
Yeah, I was about to ask that about RNG. Is it only like any percent where you have to kind of remove as much RNG as you can, because then obviously your tool would have to react to something new instead of just putting in frame by frame of every single run. I mean, I'm thinking about in my frame is Factorio. If you have biters coming at you, which are random, and randomly generated and randomly sent, there at least is a range. You have to react to them. But in Factorio, there's an any percent category with no biters, and then there's no randomness at all, and you could tool assist your way through that without ever reacting to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would just script in every frame and every movement, right?
Right, and that's how Factorio really easily fit into task. Meanwhile, Terraria, so much RNG happens all the time. You
can't. Yeah, you
so
couldn't.
complicated. You can only. It depends on the category. Sometimes maybe you could make a special category, like Flesh was saying, you could do special challenges for tasks in particular, which maybe is something that we should do. It's amazing how variable it is for stuff. I'm sure Celeste is much more suited for task runs.
Yeah, Celeste is like no RNG game, so yeah, that's why tasking is like literally perfect for it. And task is like of this game, like a normal any percent speedrun already looks awesome to people who never have seen it, but the task is like ridiculous. It still looks awesome to me. Like I see things in task consistently, which I never have thought about.
Right.
Yeah.
The other task that I saw that was amazing was Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Yeah, that
was a great one. I actually want to look that up. I wanted to say it was either near a minute or under a minute.
I think it's it's super fast. Even runners are super fast, and tasks has helped the runners too. I think to do like tricks that they didn't think were possible.
Right.
Yeah, it's like basically a big testing ground where you can test stuff if it's even possible, and then you can try to figure it out for human available strats.
Yeah, so here's Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. There's none. The whole video, the entire video is 58 seconds. And his victory screen hits at, I want to say 53 seconds, if assuming the video starts at 0. But there you go.
Oh my god, it's insane. The movement is just nuts. Inhuman, you could say.
I just Googled Getting Over It tasks, tool-assisted speedrun.
Oh man, I'm surprised it takes like such a normalized route.
Right.
Oh my god, that was a skip there. Oh my god, so many skips. What?
Yeah.
So
jeez, I didn't even know that you could do that.
Yeah. Well, T Baggins has a great point where he says, "Look, it's a fight to see who can program the best bot. Yes, but you still have to find the exploits that you want to use, right?"
I mean, a lot of times people do this type of thing for accolades, right? They're not necessarily worried about holding a world record or anything like that. They just want to be like, hey, look, my community, I was working on this thing, and we did it. Here we go. That's cool.
Yep, and we did.
And it's worthwhile enough, honestly, to like what you get out of being part of a community is some of the best feelings you ever get. So it's not just about holding number 1 on the leaderboard. It's about like, oh my God, Badger did a really cool run, and I know his name. Like that's a big deal too.
40. Yeah, there it is. Clear time 49.117 seconds.
So you guys just watch all of Benettati on this stream just then. that fast is easy peasy.
There you go. I mean, okay, so there's an example of game where your bot is only feed forward, right? You're only feeding. You're not really receiving any information from the game. All you're doing is programming movements in. It's from the bot to the game. That's it.
Yeah, perfect thing to learn tasks on. I think if you were trying to learn tasks, you could do Benettati's, and that'd be a great way to start out.
Right. And coming from a tool assisted run on Terraria, you have to have feedback from the screen telling you, hey, there's a mob here that I need to dodge or something. Yeah. So do they have image readers, something like that? Well, I mean, there's lots of technology either in like Microsoft has it, Google has it, that reads images. So you can teach it. You could teach a bot to say, when this creature comes in, I'm going to recognize it and lock onto it and then move out of its way and things like that. Is that a thing?
I don't think that has been a thing yet. But it's definitely it would definitely be a step in the future, I believe. But what more like tasks with RNG, as Badger already said, have either RNG manipulation, or they basically run back a ROM with always the same RNG, and then they just create the perfect route around that. I believe for like older games like for example, Donkey Kong, which has a little bit of RNG in terms of the enemy movement.
Yes.
They see, like, they check on a ROM how the enemies are moving when you are moving like so, because RNG is all mostly based on how your own movement is and how the enemy's movement has been before. Like every time you move and every time an enemy moves, the RNG is getting pushed forward by one cycle, basically. Right. And based on that, they check what is going on in the run, and then they adjust appropriate to make the task as perfect as possible.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, responding to the stimulus.
I think that's how RNG task bots with RNG are currently made.
I think that's the next level of dealing with tasks in taking input, like dealing with the RNG. I don't know.
Right.
That seems really tough to me.
Well, I mean, what I was saying is there are applications that are coming up in my industry where I'm hearing more and more applications where AI is being used very, very quickly to read images, identify objects, and then respond back with it reads in a picture, identifies it as an object, and responds back to a program that does a thing. So I think the application we talked about before was where there was a construction company that was getting hammered for safety violations. So what they did was they set up on a big construction site in Microsoft Azure. Yep. They set up 12 cameras that all pointed at the construction site, and they were running all the time. And then they would feed all of that data in high def back to a bot. The bot was a object recognition and a person recognition bot. And anytime it had one of the examples was, if it reads a person, no problem. If it's a person with no hard hat, it sends a text to the foreman and says, "There's a dude with no hard hat."
Cool.
Right now on your site.
What a snitch.
and it sent it to his text. Like,
hey, this person right here. They're moving to this location.
From the time the person entered to his text was 20 seconds.
That's really awesome.
Bang, 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 and that was it.
So eventually, the dream is to have that type of thing going on with a speedrun, like to really set an AI to legit show me what a Terraria speedrun truly looks like. I would love to commentate an AI playing Terraria. That'd be amazing.
Well, it'd be pretty quick, right? You go, oh, and here he goes, and here, you would go, whoa.
What is he doing?
What
did
he do? Oh, shit. Yeah.
When does he get the 6? I mean, I guess I would know the overall strategy unless it's iterating on that, but yeah, we may see that. I'm excited for too. I've been hoping for that for years now. I've been thinking about this concept of, and we batted around in the Terraria speedrun Discord too. Like, what does it look like to have a tool-assisted speedrun? Like, can we do a tool-assisted speedrun? And right now it's a no, we can't really do it, but
it's not long, because applications like that are coming on very, very soon. So that machine learning and image analysis is getting so good. Like the other one was same thing. It identified a jackhammer as an object, and it needed to have a person object within 10 feet of it. If someone walks away and leaves an unattended jackhammer, foreman gets a text.
Very cool. Right. If I miss, I could imagine having an AI in my ears telling me, "Hey, you're missing a vertebrae. Hey, this is wrong. You need to do this."
Yes.
The circumstances of the game we can actually track. That's a really crazy idea. Could you imagine having a StarCraft 2 pro player and you as a coach, you enlist an artificial intelligence to correct their play as they play?
That sounds so ridiculous.
And then you could have it in their ears in a pro game. Like,
and if the prize pack is $200,000 or something, it's worth maybe a $6,000 to $8,000 bot.
Easy, right? Easy.
That you can put in there.
Hire a programmer, pay him a couple $1,000s to get this program going.
Let's do this.
Let me take control.
If I'm a good speedrunner, I'm a good StarCraft player, and I'm top 10, right? And I have a shot at the 200K. Maybe it's worth a 5K investment to.
But think about South Korean. Think about a South Korean AI, Ika. Okay, that's where it's at. It's true that South Korea
Right.
just totally,
It's not-
totally dominates the StarCraft scene. You know, it's interesting that Koreans do not dominate the speedrunning scene straight up. There's a lot of other countries that do really well in the speedrunning scene.
I
Yeah.
believe the biggest reason for that, it's not that established yet there.
Yeah.
Like, the only Asian country I can think of where speedrunning is somewhat established is Japan. But
Very-
even that country is kind of behind it.
Very little money in
compared to the
speedrunning.
West.
Yeah, it'd be like that. The best Dota
Little
players are
money
getting
in
crushed by an
speedrunning.
AI already. So they did introduce that AI that did defeat some pro Dota players, but then the AI started losing the next game, the next game, the next game, and then it was very, very easy at some point for the Dota players to beat them. That's a common misconception about the Dota players thing.
K-pop. I'm gonna have to Google that.
Dexter does pretty well at Terraria. Yeah, Dexter is South Korea.
I can't remember if K-pop is the dudes or the chicks.
I think it's both. K-pop is a
It's
genre of
both,
music.
basically.
Yeah.
That's why I can't remember.
remember.
There you go. Okay.
Freaking dad
All right.
town over here. So
There you
so
go.
very dad doesn't even know how to handle it. So Flesh, where do you see your podcast going? What is the end goal for you on?
Both.
What is the end goal?
Yeah.
That eventually, okay, that's that like basically the end goal is that I got like enough of a following that like my stream and my overall appearance in the internet can benefit from it, but also like I really wish that I can get as big to one point that people like that I can talk with the other big speedrunners.
I see.
Like, I try to climb the ladder so I can step up my game every time. So one day we will probably talk with all big speedrunners on this podcast because they have also valuable things to share. But right now I feel like my podcast is not like the stage of the podcast is not big enough, so they get like it matches their value in my opinion. Like I
Yeah.
want to slow down on that.
It's pretty
It
tough
sounds like
to start
yeah.
off with for sure. Like what do you offer to someone who's got plenty of views already? It's hard to say come to my podcast because you have to pay them basically to have them come on.
yeah, that's why I like start with more mediocre streamers, like not
Thanks.
the smallest, but
He invited
not
me, by the way.
the
Mediocre.
biggest. I mean, you said in your stream multiple times that you're like still in the starting grounds of
That's
streaming.
true.
I've talked with one person that's helping me out on my entire like streaming content creation journey a lot, and she basically told me like the thing I have to think about, like because I had these worries in the beginning when I was starting to make this podcast, like why should people join me? I have nothing to offer. Like I'm basically asking them to help me promote my stuff, basically.
Yeah.
So, and she was like basically telling me, I mean, I give valuable things too in terms of, hey, I give them an easy chance to talk freely about what they think. Like maybe their stream is not meant to talk about these things. Maybe they have a hard time talking on these topics on their stream, or maybe maybe they just want to relax a little bit and don't worry about their own stream and just talk freely about these things on another place. So that's like basically what I was trying to get in my head. And I mean, people are enjoying, like, I've messaged one person, like the SMB1 Super Mario Bros. 1 world record holder, and I've messaged him, I reached out to him, and the first thing he said is, "You dude, you are very cool." And I was like, what? I did not expect such a response, and that made me like so happy. So I somehow have to offer. I somehow offer already something valuable, and that's like I really appreciate that.
So do you want to do
people are like-
content creation like this for your job full time forever?
It is basically somewhat on my mind.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's to be honest,
Same
I
for
have
Blake.
a really hard.
Blake
I
wants to
have
do
a
it. But
really hard time I have a really hard time talking about that because theoretically I really wish I could do this, but I'm still very, very young. I'm like 20 years old, but I basically also have like no real idea about my future, and I came to the conclusion, hey, I'm so young, I could at least try it and see how it goes. It's probably
kids these
like,
days.
yeah, we like no, people told me I should take my opportunities and not follow like just a general life. If I have an idea and if I have a dream or if I have like a passion, I should try on this, and once it doesn't work out, I should just move on to the next. That's like how I approach these things.
Let the world tell you now is like what I like to say. Don't tell yourself no. That's what I like.
Right. And that's a good one. That's the same advice we give to kids kids coming out of college, trying to decide, should I go with an established company or should I try for a startup? Like make your startup risks early, right?
Yeah, because later you can't.
Because
Or
later you
it's
won't be able
harder.
to, right? It's harder it's harder later on. So, but yeah, that's the same mentality. Do it. It's great. Be 20 and take those risks. That's great.
Strong agree. Gotta take those risks early. I mean, just be willing to take the risk in the first place is a tough thing to do. Having yourself in a situation to take
Yeah.
the risk is tough. So yeah, it's cool, Flesh. I'm excited for this. What will become, where you might go with it, the ideas you're going to implement into it, which is why I wanted to come on and have you talk about it. Speedrunning education, because I think this topic, it being educated about speedrunning, is just something that's not even touched on that much. Like, because in my experience, people are like, any percent. What does that mean? Like, what is a low percent run? What is, what categories are there? Actually, the biggest one is, you can speedrun Terraria. I didn't know that. Well, speedrunning is about community, not about necessarily the game. You can really speedrun anything. There's Overwatch speedruns. What is that? It's the tutorial. That the community messed that up. So I think there needs to be a speedrunning education platform somewhere for people to legit get educated about it.
All right,
Yeah,
I agree.
That's like the entire idea. I in the beginning I was like more like, hey, I want to create content where I can help other or new speedrunners getting started. But nowadays I'm also thinking viewers, like the audience of speedruns, also needs to be educated, because like.
For sure.
As I said, like the big streamers, like 90% of their questions are, what is their world record? What is any percent? What does this trick means? It's like, obviously, like speedrunning is still like extremely new or
it's
small.
super new. It's super new. I'm looking I was just about to make that same point. I'm looking at speedrun.com. The oldest Factorio speedrun is 3 years ago.
That's no.
That's
Terraria is 2 years ago.
No,
right?
That's definitely not right. We were speedrunning back in the day, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, for sure.
Well, or maybe not submitted to speedrun.com.
Well, we've removed a lot of the
now.
old runs, is why they're not there anymore. So.
Okay.
I wouldn't think speedrunning as a whole is super new. Well, let's compare it to other media, Ika. That's what I think of when I think of new. Like, how long have movies been around? Before movies were moving pictures, and then a person would be in the theater playing a piano, like that.
Right.
How long has sports been around? How long has organized sports been around? Right. How long has being an actor been around? Right. So those are like old professions. Being a streamer, being a speedrunner, like people professionally doing those things, really hasn't existed much. It exists now, but I would say 5 years of people being professional speedrunners, or speedrunning is starting to become esports now. That's a big
like
difference.
also a big topic. That's like probably the biggest, hottest topic right now. Or it's still like around. Should speedrunning be an esport or not? Actually, like just yesterday, was it yesterday? I believe yesterday in France there was like a 20K speedrunning tournament in 4 different games. Like each game got a 5K prize pool.
Nice. Oh, there you go. That's the start. That's how it started with StarCraft too.
It was like really, really cool. Like it was like I don't know exactly what it was, but it probably was like a French kind of company about gaming, and they started to invite speedrunners. So it was like they listed their 4 games: Sekiro, Minecraft, Celeste, and Portal 2, I believe, were the games they chose. And they said, hey, speedrunners, list down your best times you have with video proof and everything, and the 2 best players of each game fly out to France and back, and the winner takes $4,000 and the loser takes $1,000.
Freaking epic.
Wow.
And it was like a 1-day event, and it got like 50,000 viewers, I believe. And I mean, that's like the first, like that was not the very first step towards esport and speedrunning, but it was like a very good step, I believe, because that concept was like really cool.
Yeah.
And also like ESA in the end of January did something with Super Mario 64, which is probably the biggest speed game right now in the entire world. They invited the best 7 players over a weekend in Sweden, and they were grinding all day long for the best time, and whoever got the best time or beat the world record got like extra prize money.
Cool.
And that was like, they were streaming consistently, all 7 players simultaneously, and they had like multiple different commentators there who were like professionals from, for example, Smash Brothers commentary and whatever, just to talk about this game and put like really high production quality on it. And those are like good steps they are making towards making speedrunning also esport-ish. It's
I'm
like
excited
still
for managers, production teams working with people, sponsorship opportunities for speedrunners. That'll be really cool to see when speedrunners are legit treated like
I really
a
love
pro
the
player.
idea to monetize more around speedrunning because it's like actually a really amazing hobby. But so far, the only real big thing the speedrunning scene has to represent themselves is GDQ, I believe. Like GDQ is so big nowadays. Probably everybody in the internet knows about it.
Yeah, 1.6
Or,
million
like,
followers, I think, right now.
Wow.
on
Most
GQ.
people know about it.
Yeah.
But in terms of monetizing the speedrunners themselves, which put like thousands of hours into one thing, also needs to be done. So these are good steps, but the community is still like very separated about this topic. Like there are so many people who want speedrunning becoming an esport, and there are so many people who think esports and speedrunning, like esports will kill speedrunning, or like not kill speedrunning, but destroys its core purpose of like community spirit and whatnot.
I don't agree with that at all.
I don't agree also, but like people are scared that once you put money on like a speedrun world record or whatever, people will start hiding strategies, and it's no longer this community tries to optimize the speedrun. It's more like who can find the best strategy first and then, you know, run the game. But on most games, like
can't keep
let's
it
just
secret.
take the example.
I mean,
Yeah, that like for example, Mario 64. Even if you find a secret, it's probably not going to be as big. And to benefit from it, you already have to be top 5 in the world
right, to
to
take advantage
really
of it.
beat the other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I understand the point, but realistically, I don't think it's going to matter on most established speed games or all established speed games.
It's only
just
increased
looking-
competition. Competition is
just-
good for everybody.
Just looking at Super Mario 64. Oh, Deuces out.
I think he's got his headset on still.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So Super Mario 64 had oldest speedrun 7 years ago. It was at least submitted to speedrun.com. So that's been around for a while. Super Mario 64 is a really good one, and everybody's doing that on the Japanese version of the Nintendo 64. So there must be some Easter egg there that's super useful.
It's probably text speed.
But-
Text speed is usually faster.
It's for the text speed.
Text
Like
speed. Good call.
when you start the game, there's
Right.
like Princess Peach is reading a letter to invite you, and in the Japanese version, this letter is not getting read.
Nihilus,
so
thank you for the 212 person raid. You're amazing. What's up, Nihilus? How you doing? Welcome to
there's,
Enough About You.
10
We've got-
seconds or 20 seconds
We've got Blake.
already.
We've got
cut off.
Flesh177 here. He's hanging out, talking about his podcast. All right,
Hey, man.
Speedrun Education. It's good to see you, Nihilus. Hope your stream was good today. Appreciate you
Speaking
very
of
much.
Nilos,
Hey,
hey,
Larry.
man, for the rest of the Factorial community, the first sub 2 hours just got broken 15 minutes ago by a Canadian named Happy Dude,
Oh,
who
you
just
know
got
Happy
the
Dude?
the first
Hey, Bodge.
sub 2 hours, 1 hour 59 minutes in Factorial World. So
Dang,
that
that's
was
crazy.
The first one on this on this version.
Props to him.
Just went sub 2 hours. Yeah.
I don't know if he's a
Kaboom.
known speedrunner or not. Hey, Udaba. So yeah, we're talking a little bit about speedrunning. Speedrunning's turning to esports right now. We're talking about how old/young video gaming and speedrunning and esports is in general. What is up doing out there? How you doing? This is our little podcast that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think that gaming is still super young, like compared to
Yeah.
other things. Just 48 years old, 50 years old, or something like that. Gaming was in the arcade and it's changed so massively now. I think it's such a fresh industry. But I mean, people are still working out what works. Honestly, like Telltale Games is a great example of people thinking they know what works and then totally falling apart. Really, Twitch streaming and monetizing via video games, that's crazy. You're in early adopter territory right now. It's nuts to even try
Sure.
doing it.
Well, I mean, aren't we all, right? If we're, Badger pretty much plays video games for a living, and rewind the clock 10 years ago, that was really probably not a thing that was achievable for
10 years ago.
10 yeah, think about
yeah.
10 years ago.
It wasn't really a concept. Even PewDiePie wasn't even big 10 years ago. He was just starting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
I
10
think
years
really-
ago, none of this was a thing.
I think really
Like,
5 years
It's
ago,
crazy, yeah.
people were really showing that you could actually do this for a living.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, somewhere around 5 to 7 were the first ones that a normal that people were really just kind of hearing about this thing,
Right. It
right?
was
Because
becoming
that's what happened to
normalized.
me.
Yeah.
Is I thought, wait a second, what is this Twitch thing? Oh, I'm totally doing this.
I was going
I'm
to
doing
do
it.
YouTube first. I was going to be a YouTuber. I was going to be a Let's Player for my my first videos. Is what my intention was. Changed a little bit. Kind of went with the flow. Kind of roll with the punches, honestly, to find out what works.
Yeah.
I didn't really have it so much of a plan, honestly. It's not very planned.
You're better. You're way better live than anything else. You're way better live.
I think I do. I think editing is big. Have you seen my new YouTube videos though? They make me look great.
But you're not editing.
I'm not editing them, right? I look good in them though. I'm very funny in those.
You
videos.
do look good. You do look good in them. Yeah.
And that's that's really nice.
editor. And you bring up a great point. Is that it was probably. I mean, editing makes such a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what to that end what Chippy Gaming hangs his hat on as to most of his success.
Script writing, investigative reporting, editing. Those are the things that apply for Chippy.
Right, and so what Chippy would do is I saw him. He and Pedguin were co-op Fortnite one day. They were just on Twitch, both doing the thing Fortnite. I was hanging out in his channel and Chippy's like, you know what, I've gotten really good at editing. It's a thing. It makes me look good. He just kind of gave this little one paragraph throwaway thing about how editing made a big impact in his career. And I went, you know what? It is so true. Like he says he's gotten he's gotten really fast and really good at getting it boiled down to exactly what he wants to say.
See, I think that's the thing. Yeah. And also I think that when he's script writing, he's like, this is how it's going to look in Vegas. Or, this is how it's going to look inside my edit. And and having that all there. Because when I do it, I script write and then I'm like, how the heck am I going to turn this script into an actual product? And I do the recording of the script, and then I have to cut it up, and then it gets confusing. I have to redo my takes. So the flow for Chippy at this point is so much better than a novice's, right? And that's such a huge difference. It's not as easier to turn a stream on and be entertaining, but I've done so many hours of it that it's hard to like sit in the chair and learn something new when I could go do a stream and have another person who's already skilled at editing do my editing for me.
Yep.
You need to find an editor. Freaking Reddit, dude. Reddit is so good. Go to Reddit. There's like so many places you can just like, hey, I want to hire an editor. And there's people from all over the world that will take tiny money, really tiny money, just to have a job, because in their country, five USD is like $500. So it's great. It's great for you and great for them.
Yep. Yeah, tiny money, very small, I guess. Yeah, and to quote Rain, he says that's a thing for him too. He says streaming is fun. Editing is not so fun.
Oh, real boy. Thanks for saying hi,
and when I have 5 hours open of stuff I want to do to be productive, I could click that turn on the stream and we could do some stuff, or I can sit down and grind through this dang editing process.
Thoughts on using Fiverr to find an editor? Fiverr's great. Planton loves Fiverr. I think Fiverr's fine.
Yeah.
Here, the thing about Fiverr is probably you want to go around Fiverr, get in contact with a person who could do editing, and then one-on-one with them to decide what you guys want to do together. So yeah, I think
maybe
really any professional who has
I
well, because Fiverr has a bad rep. Fiverr
finding my artist, but then I sunk some seed money into it. So here's so this is worth repeating because of the question. What I did to find my artist, I chose 3 people, right? And I said, I'm going to push this. I'm going to get an emote from everybody, and I'm just going to see what the experience was, right? And I got a crappy experience, I got a decent experience, and I got a great one. And now that great one is my artist from going forward. So
yeah, and that's really what Fiverr's all about. You really connect with a person that you work well with, and then it doesn't really matter where you're at. I know that Fiverr has a weird rap, and they're not the greatest organization, but it's about the people that are there too. So they're just trying to make money. They're trying to do the thing. They have skills to help you with. That's actually been a big growing experience for me, is trying not to do everything myself anymore. Because at the start, I just tried to do absolutely everything, every piece of art, everything myself, and I felt like I couldn't trust anybody else to do it. I'm really doing my best to, okay, I'm gonna let you do this. I'm gonna trust you, and I'm just however it turns out, it's gonna be fine. To be honest, it's not gonna be a big deal. I can make maybe edits at the very end, and that's helped a lot. For like the first time ever, I had an infographic made by a person that I hired to do so. That was amazing. Sent my idea in, came back, finished product, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Perfect. Feels good, man.
Right. So do you do editing yourself, Flesh, on your podcast?
Yeah, I do. Like
the lament.
Obviously I do.
Yes, I do.
Also on the videos, I do videos about Celeste talking about certain tricks or discoveries. Currently, I'm making a video where I talk about how the current world record happened and what all happened in the entire progress of getting down to 27 minutes. And editing is like,
Wow.
I literally feel you, Badger. It's like literally hell.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I'm so. It's like
Tough.
it takes so much time, and just not only editing, but just talking and recording it is like, gosh, it is so exhausting. But I feel like at least in the beginning, it's like necessary to get in touch with it, so you learn what
I agree
if
with
it
that.
fits you or not.
Yes. Yes.
And
So
yeah.
Well, I'll give you an example. Flesh is what Badger does. Is he is the best you will ever get out of Badger is him live. That he has a
Thanks.
he has an experience. His tip top delivery of what his number one talent is. Hey, Boo, is Badger live. You want to experience that. So
Thanks. Appreciate you.
taking him off of that and doing editing. Is days that he's not live, so it makes sense to outsource editing, right? So, but then because he's really good live, that's where he should do all of his recording. Like so his source material is good stuff from him being live and interacting with chat and being spazzing out and being crazy and cracking wise and all that good stuff. So that's what his live experiences. That's what he sends to the editor. Right, and then the editor can really chop all of that down, get the dead weight out of that, and then help mine the gold. And that's what a good editor is helps mine the gold. Right.
It's very nice for Epic Rocker, the editor, because he actually is like, I like this. I like what you're making, so it's easy for me to edit. He's not there bored. I mean, like, because when I watch my own stuff back, it's not that I'm bored, but I know what happened. Like I know what happens.
Yeah, I know how it's gonna come out.
The whole thing already. I was there. I did this.
I told that joke already, right?
Yeah, it was flat that time. It was flat this time. But Epic Rocker laughs, right? Because you didn't hear it before, and he's like, "All right, this was a good joke, or not," right? And he can feel out the deal. That's that. Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue with editing is editing my own work is really frustrating.
Right.
Yeah, literally the first time I tried to edit my own work, I got like so cringed away by how my voice sounded. It was like I was like trying to edit a tiny piece of voice, and I was like, dude, I really don't want to listen back to it. I just want to move on to something else. And it was like literally pain. The first time I was trying to edit something, it was
I've only grown out of that like this year, hating my own voice. Now my own voice
I have
is
some
fine.
news for you. Actually, have news for Badger. What you sound like is exactly what you think you sound like in your head, and everybody else is hearing it, and they're still here. So you got to get over it.
You're right. That's exactly what I had to tell myself.
You got to get over it.
Just got to get over it. That's all there is to it.
That's it.
I've gotten used to my own voice now. Listening to my own voice back in Vegas is not that big a deal anymore.
Right.
But I remember when I started, it would, like, Flesh put it best, cringe. Like, my entire body would be like, ugh.
Well,
I don't like this. This is bad. I don't like it.
At some point, it's either you're cringing. Some of that might have been you're cringing at your audio, which can be fixed, right?
Right. And it's 50-50. I'm way
50-50,
happier with my audio now than I was ever before. I really didn't like my Blue Yeti. I really didn't like the setup that I had. Having the compressor and all that stuff like helps so much to have clean audio. So, Exela, you like your own voice? That's good. That's really great to hear.
Yeah.
More content creators out there need to like their own voice. I don't know.
I
wonder how PewDiePie feels about being in the industry for the last 10 years, hearing his own voice on stuff. Does he watch his own videos back? I don't know.
Probably not. You don't have time. There's some of us that want to just go forward. I don't know.
I don't watch my edited videos back. I watched a couple of them, make sure the editing was fine. I listen to the feedback on if the editing is good or not, and that's it.
Yeah.
Boof also hated her own voice starting. You super used to it now?
Yeah, super used to it. You just got to get used to it, man. Go forward. Forward's the only way. You just got to go.
Yeah, so Krista brings up the scientific. So it's because you've never heard your own voice before. You've only heard your own voice through your voice box, through your mouth, into your ears, and also through the bones in your neck and your head, your jaw.
That's why it sounds different to you, I believe.
Right. And so you've never heard your own voice before until you do a recording and listen to it back, and that is how you sound. Like that's what it is. And actually, it's I think my voice has changed a little bit since I've been hearing my own voice. I've changed posture a lot since I started too. There's a ton of different things that I've
stood up
on. Yeah, I mean standing helps a little bit, but I think there's I lean my shoulders back a bit more, and then I lean my spine back and then shoulders forward more, and then there's also it's a bit different than when I started. To get the diaphragm involved up in here is super important. Because I really don't like talking like this, especially when I'm hunched over. Because this is how I sit. I don't know if anyone else does this.
Yes. I'll catch myself when I'm into speedrunning or into Factorio. I'm going, oh my God. And I'm crunched over. I'm going Bernie Sanders on the thing, right? And I have to force myself to go, and back and pull the thing up and.
You're gonna quit radio, right, Boof? And you're gonna do internet radio, which I don't know the difference between internet radio and streaming. By the way, I was listening to you on your stream saying that. I was like, you're doing that right now, silly.
You're already doing it.
It's already internet radio. This is what you're into. You just have to have all kinds of. You're your own producer and stuff like that as well, instead of just. Well, I guess you would be anyway. Oh yeah, that's right. You were doing Ped radio today. Freaking Ped lost his internet today, apparently. Rip. He's gonna be down for like 2 days.
Wow.
That's awful as a full-time streamer to just have a phone call from your ISP. It's like, yeah, they can't do anything about it for 2 days, and your internet's gonna go out. Sorry.
And it is the death knell of your of a full-time content creator, and you're completely powerless. Completely powerless. You just gotta go with it and complain or whatever you're gonna do. You can
Feels bad, man.
Can throw stuff around, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like losing a game and throwing your controller doesn't really accomplish anything. Getting mad at the ISP. Because, I mean, they don't care, right? I mean, they have so many customers. Maybe they'll care a tiny bit.
They do, but they don't, right?
Right, they do what they don't, right? They're not going to, like, roll over for you or anything like that. They're just going to do it the best they can.
All right.
That sucks for him. I feel bad. I know when that happens to me or I have trouble with my internet, it's the worst. Especially because I think Ped's, like, reaching his all-time high sub count right now. He's doing really well.
Ped's doing great. Yeah.
He can bring a laptop to a friend's house. Well, think about the detriment in quality there. Like, he could turn his stream on, sure, but he's doing something in the first place.
Yeah, you could do IRL streams, you can do the phone, you can do all that business. So
what happened to them, Nihilus? Rothgar
lost their account. Like someone got into their account, hacked it, and set all their videos to private.
Why? That's so much energy to do that to somebody. Good
I don't know.
Lord,
Brothgar was a really big YouTuber that did tons of videos for Auction Not Included. And somebody got his account and he was unable to get it back. He lost it for 3 weeks. All his videos went to private, something.
Internet life, bro.
Internet life, bro. That's it.
That's super painful.
Yeah, just like very silly, stupid people on the internet.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess
I don't know what's like. I always look at these people. They probably go to so much shit that they have to do other shit to other people.
Yeah.
I wonder about that too. That's because you get trolls in streams, right? And how's that person feeling today? That actually helps me a lot, deflecting them, because this person's having a bad day probably here. All right, they're having a tough one.
Yep. So I'll tell you something. Speaking of editing and YouTubing and all of that business, I'll tell you something that I started doing. So Badger and I have a thing that we've been telling each other that we need to do more of.
Oh, shoot.
Two things.
A million things. Wow.
A million things, but in particular, one is more YouTube, right? You need to diversify because Twitch is a thing.
Giving myself a pat on the back here.
Twitch is a good thing. So Badger's been doing it. He got an editor. He's been doing the Let's Play. He's invested in. It's a good way to say it. I'm investing time and resources into getting an editor and getting YouTube content out there. Number two,
I like saying diversifying my portfolio. That feels good to say. I like saying that.
Yep. Diversify your internet portfolio. Number one is YouTube. Number two is Reddit.
Oh, shoot.
Right?
Krista said it too. Oh, yeah, right? Reddit. Good.
Reddit.
Oh, shoot, you reminded me. I have a Reddit video to post.
So here's what I thought of, Badge. You're gonna like this story. It's a little self-deprecating.
Ika, did you know that if I have your phone number, I can spoof your phone number and get your text messages?
Can you?
Mm-hmm. That's why 2FA doesn't work necessarily. If you're doing 2FA, what you really need to do is you need to get another mobile number, and you need to keep that mobile number only for 2FA. That's it.
That's kind of what I have. I think you're the only one that has this one.
SIM jacket? I don't know what the technical term is, but your phone number is not necessarily safe.
Yeah. So here's what I did, Badger. Two things we need to do: YouTube and Reddit, right? So I thought. Right, so here's my thought process. I went, okay, what I'm going to do is on my new player night in the Factorio Reddit. On my new player night, I'm going to go to Reddit, and we're going to go to a thing out there at Factorio. It's called the Weekly Question Thread. And it's just a weekly a thread that they ditch once a week, or they archive it off, but they pin it, and they say start, and it starts like on Monday, I guess. And they take questions fresh for that week, and people answer it, and you can go ask your question there, and they combine all the questions into one thread. So what I do was, on my new player night, I go there, and in addition, we review the FFF, which is the Factorio Friday facts that the developers release every Friday, and I'll break that down. I'm recording it, and I'll later on I'll go chop that up as a YouTube thing, and then after that I'll go to Reddit and I'll read through the FFF with chat there and me there, and I'll go through the weekly question thread and I'll answer questions. Really, I'll crack wise. I'll answer questions. Part of the new player nights, we can get talking about new players. People can ask all those questions and get access to the chat and all that business. So part of the new player night and bringing people in. And I said, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Is it's gonna be a one video, like 15, 20 minutes of the FFF and then 15, 20 minutes of Reddit. And then I'm gonna package that up, edit it down, throw it to YouTube. And I thought,
that's great.
Perfect.
I like that.
I'm doing like that's. I also love this idea.
I think my favorite part of that idea is that you are specifically making tailored content. So when you start making tailored content, I think is when it's most effective, the type of content. You're making it for Reddit, answering those Reddit questions.
Released every Friday. Fractorial Friday Facts, right?
So now let's ask, why Reddit? Why are you even bothering with Reddit? Do you feel like Reddit's worth your time?
I don't know. It's a lot of content there. You just go there and read stuff, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
I think it's different content. Like I think that the content that Reddit responds to is very different than what Twitch responds to, that Twitter responds to, that Instagram responds to. So if you're interested in writing things, then Reddit is a pretty good place to put that content out there. Like the payout on Reddit can be a little bit funny, because the only way that you're going to get any like actual anything happening to you help out is publicity, right? So if your post goes to the top of Reddit, basically. So my number one most watched clip is a clip that I posted to Reddit. So that's cool. I got new people coming into my stream because of that, and that's one of the ways that it works. Bring them to Twitch, monetize there is kind of the deal. So I like Reddit just because it's an open platform for. It's one of the most popular platforms of the internet, really, Reddit is. And it has lots of community members that I've never seen, people who would never come on Twitch. So as a content creator, what I really, really want to do for the platforms that I'm on is not just make content there that the people who are engaged in the platform like. I like making content that will bring people from other places to that platform, right? And that's what makes you valuable to Twitch. That's what makes you valuable to YouTube. If you want to be undeniable in this space, you need to be doing exactly that, bringing more people in and stuff like that. So there's undeniable. And Reddit is a place you can do that. Imager, Instagram, Twitter, those are these social media platforms that are possible for you to bring these people into your just publicity there mostly. Bring people into your sphere and work with them.
Correct.
I even see streamers like using TikTok to monetize their stream.
I can't wait to start using TikTok. TikTok is actually my next content flow flash.
TikTok is so fucking huge, and there may be a ton of like young. It's like the most youngest audience on all social media probably, but it's like so much attention is there that can definitely benefit from there.
Yeah, there's tons of people on Twitter who make Twitter focused content that works really well on TikTok, and I would love to do that.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that, and I packaged up in video. I've done it twice now. My vision was 30 to 40 minutes of a video, part 1, part 2. They've been near 50 minutes, and the last one was an hour. And when I first did it, I was getting ready to do it that first night, that first Friday, new player night. Got the Reddit. Here's what we're gonna do, guys. This is what we're gonna do Friday nights. Now we're gonna do the thing, new player night, bring everybody in. And then I think my buddy Odaba said, "Oh, you mean like Exterminator does every Friday?"
Nice.
And I went, "Oh,
nice. Got beat to it, man."
And he and Mojo have been doing this for years.
Wow. You had this great idea,
and JD's done it. I had this great idea. I had no idea. Here's the thing: Mojo and I have been buddies for years. JD and I have been buddies for years. Exterminator and I have been buddies for many years. Colonel Will, all that other stuff. Colonel Will, all these guys, we all know each other. They've been doing it, and I've had no clue. I swear to you, it was my first video. I'm going, oh, crap.
Yeah, you can answer that question in your voice actually if you want to, Flesh. So Krista asked Flesh.
Yeah.
When doing your burnout episode, was there anything you didn't mention in that pod, or you can just talk about the podcast in general that you wanted to talk about later regarding avoiding managing burnout?
So, like on that episode, I invited that one speedrunner, and we basically just talked mostly about that topic. But I definitely want to deep dive more into this topic.
It's a fun topic for us too.
Later episodes. Yeah. What did you say?
Talking about burnout is a fun topic for us too. I mean, that's super important. I think I talk about burnout like 3 or 4 times a week, basically.
It will happen to you when you least expect it.
The thing about burnout is people are like, how do you not get burned out in Terraria? How do you not get burned out?
You won't see it coming. You won't see it coming either.
It's okay. So and then like, how do you not get burned out on your friendship? How do you not get burned out on cleaning the house? How do you not get burned out? A million things. How do you not get burned out? The reality is that you are gonna. You're gonna get burned out. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have to deal with
that
being
learning
burned out.
experience is like super valuable.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. I
I
agree.
feel like you need to get burned out in order to learn how to not burn out. Does that make sense?
See, I don't like the idea of not getting burned out. What I like to talk about is how to deal with burnout when it does happen. Like accept burnout. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you repeatedly. What is the coping mechanisms that work best for you for dealing with burnout? That's really what's super important to me. I don't like saying there's negative emotions in general. Like Badger, I get jealous. How do I not get jealous? You don't not get jealous. All right, it's not going to happen. You can't just take jealousy out of your life. How do you cope with jealousy when it happens? That's really where it's at, and that's what that's what was so interesting about speedrun education is that you really need to educate people not on just the concepts of speedrun education, but how to deal with burnout in speedrun situations. Like getting really good at the piano, you're gonna get burned out on that. Like getting really good at any instrument. So what is it like to cope with getting burned out?
Yeah, looks of the person not.
I got my tips for how to deal with burnout. What do you guys think? What is good tips for dealing with burnout?
Yeah, perspective, right?
It depends a lot on your situation and your motivation. Like, what do you want to achieve, and like, how far do you want to go in your hobby? Like, for example, it comes down to like very personal, like what kind of person you are.
I like sleep on it.
For me,
same. For me, sleep on it helps a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
So my number one tip for burnout is when you're burned out in something, accept that you're burned out and take some space.
Yeah.
You just burned out, bro. Don't kill yourself on it. The more that you slam yourself into that rock over and over again, the worse you're going to make your burnout. Go take a nap. Sleep on it.
Give yourself time to do other things or to enjoy other things.
Go do exercises. Go walk around.
Yeah.
Go do something. That's my number one thing for me that helps with burnout.
Right.
Usually number two for me is do it different. Right? You've been doing it the same way over and over again. Totally switch it up. Like switch up the control scheme, switch up the requirements, switch up exactly what you're doing, approach it in a different way so that you have a different, fresh experience on it. And so the funny thing about this is exactly what you need to do for a relationship too. You're burned out with your wife, go take a freaking vacation away from her. Go do something else that doesn't involve her. And then, do something new with wife. All right, go experience wife in a different way. Go to a place, do something that you haven't done with wife before. It applies. Replace wife with anything that you have. Game, piano, whatever you want to do. Just get a new wife. You could stop doing old wife, get a new wife. That's number 3 for burnout. Deal with it. Don't deal with it. Just move on. Maybe you don't like that thing that much, but a lot of the times that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes what you said, sometimes the burnout can also like show you that it's not the right thing for you.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you try to get into, like, you just say a music instrument and you just try for whatever reason, and you burn out so much that maybe that music instrument or that hobby is not the right thing for you, and you just need to move on with something else. Maybe your body is not made for it. I mean, it can be the case.
I usually don't like talking. I hate that part of it, of telling someone to quit. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's like really a rough thing, but I feel like I had an experience that a friend of mine called Railboy was a speedrunner of Celeste, and he got so frustrated with the game that he stopped speedrunning it, and he talked with me after that, and he like enjoys a lot of his time with speedrunning or watching Celeste streams a lot since he stopped speedrunning the game himself. So I mean, sometimes it can help you, but it's definitely a tough decision.
I guess don't shoehorn yourself into something just because you thought it was a good idea at one point. I think that you brought up goals initially, Flesh, and I think that might be what you need to do in order to come to the conclusion that something wasn't for you. Put a goal forward. If you hit the goal, then you can change your mind, or like maybe that's a new time to assess. Or if the goal is something that you didn't hit, like I think goals will help a lot with that, with deciding if you're going to be good for something or not.
All right.
What are you
Think
drinking,
about
Flesh?
it and frame it as solving a problem, right? So if you're trying to solve the problem the same way, variety and perspective, right? If you keep trying to solve the problem and you're hitting your head up against the wall so many times, which is a ton of a part of speedrunning. Like you're trying to get it faster, you're trying to figure out how to do this thing. Then insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. You do need to change. That means you do need to change it up and try and solve the problem a different way.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you're trying to solve a problem, whether it's some sort of, whether it's a relationship problem or a speed running problem or some sort of, I don't know, shoot a gaming or factorial problem, put some distance between you, clear your head, go do some creative stuff, and let your brain kind of flip over and rotate through some ideas, and then you can come back to it later, right?
Yeah.
Think about problem solving.
Sleep on it. I think sleep on it was great advice.
Sleep on it. There you go.
If you want to sleep on it, you can do. Take time. It's tough. Burnout is just I think the biggest thing that burnout hurts me the most is that I get mad at myself for being burned out. You know, I have the best job in the whole world. How can I get burned out on it? And it's a really bad mentality for me to have, that I expect more of myself all the time. And that's super important too. To give yourself space and time and pacing, and consider your own feelings valid too. If you invalidate how you feel about something, that's just going to be the worst for yourself. I'm a Celeste speedrunner. I need to run Celeste. If I don't run Celeste during my stream today, I'm a piece of garbage. That's a piece of rubbish. That's no good.
Oh, rubbish.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about this stuff more. All right, as community leaders, I think this is such an important thing because
100%. Yeah, I usually don't take a week off, but you'll see me dip into new things. Like
36
I've got a
days
good
is my biggest record for
variety.
taking time off. 36 days, I didn't make any content really. I did some Instagram, some Twitter posts.
Oh yeah, you did Twitter. That's about it.
I mean, that's a big gap. And you know what's funny? After that 36 days, things started going way better than the 36 days prior. Like way better. You think they would be worse? Like, you know, you'd get a drop in numbers and stuff like that after a month plus break? Not at all. It was totally against my expectations as what was going to happen. I was invigorated to be back. I was making better content. I was happier. I was more excited. So obviously it translates. If you feel like you need a month off, do it. If you feel like you need a year off, do it. There's so many, like Nagushu is actually a great example of a content creator who just doesn't care. They don't have a schedule. They don't make content just for you. They make content when they feel like it. And it does super well. So right. I think there was a bit of a toxic mentality for me coming up where I was like, I have to stream every day. If I don't stream every day, I will fail. I have to be engaged constantly. Otherwise, I will lose. It's just...
But at the same time, your Twitter post did let your community know where you were. You let them know where you were and what you were doing, and that you were safe, and said, "I'm come back at some point." You were not generating content, but you were communicating, which was fairly important in that whole thing. Saying, "Look, I'm still part. I still want to be a part of this community."
I never quit. You know, I was like, I'm taking a break.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't say, "Hey, I'm bouncing out of streaming. I'm doing something completely different." You're saying, "Hey, I'm just stepping away." So that is taking that break, but doing what you did is super important, and not just deucing out, because if you deuce out,
kind of sabbatical. I know. Right. I know. It's it's weird. Like, I think if I had decided at the time to be done with it, then I had decided to come back. I think there was a lot of ways I could have done it, and I don't think any way would be really wrong per se.
Right.
Is Shred Guy not stream as much anymore? I don't know. You guys know about Shred Guy? Are we doxing Shred Guy?
No, Shred Guy, I think he said he was having some. He doesn't stream anymore. I think he was having some. I've heard secondhand, unsubstantiated, allegedly migraines, and allegedly burnout, and allegedly got a job. So one of those three things.
That's a whirlwind of stuff to have to deal with streaming.
Right.
There's so many streamers who have quit for me. Like, I've known so many streamers throughout the time who have just decided not to stream ever again, basically. We know personal buddies ourselves, Blake, that have quit, totally done.
100%. Right? And
Jude Lass is done.
Yeah, and there on that list, super talented folks that could easily put a couple things together, and they are megastars.
I agree. A lot of the people that I've seen quit streaming, I was like, really? Why?
Really?
You're doing better than me. You've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah. You're doing great, man. What are you talking about?
It's confusing. But it's. I guess it comes back to what Flesh
said. If it's not right, it's not right.
If it's not right, if you got to identify in yourself if it's good for you or not.
Yeah. A couple things. Yeah. If they couldn't do it, they didn't want to do it. So it's like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, communication is important. I guess being willing to communicate with your audience. Discord has been I guess I gotta say Twitter is like my number two platform, basically. I'm always doing stuff on Twitter. I really like Twitter. Twitter's cool. Actually, I really hated Twitter. I was having a conversation about this on Twitter this morning. I hated Twitter until I started muting people. So I was like, I don't want to hear this post anymore.
I saw that one. Tell me about that.
If you tweet something, I'm like, I don't like that. I'll mute you.
Unpack your Twitter decision, because that was really good.
If you are pandering, if you are engaging with content and promoting content that I don't like, I will, even if you were being negative. So like a lot of posts on Twitter are something like, hey, this shouldn't be happening, you shouldn't do this is wrong. A lot of times I will mute you for something like that. I don't want to be negative about stuff. I only want to be positive about stuff. So that's what I want on my Twitter feed. I want nice, positive things. I want accomplishments. I want people doing things in their life. I want them sharing things. I don't like the hate wagon. I don't like the cancel brigade. I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like the I'm in pain dying brigade either. Like, everybody's got really bad stuff going on. I really want my Twitter feed to be something that makes people happy. So, and this was really hard for me because it took me a long time to be willing to mute somebody, to be able to say, like, I don't want to hear from this person ever again. That was actually very, very difficult to do. But as soon as I started doing that and I felt comfortable with doing it, I feel a lot better. And there is a, I think I may be unmuting a better Twitter. If I see your post, I almost always like it. Like, in general, that's what I do.
Let me get a quote from Mr. William Bishop, Video Game Badger. Unfiltered Twitter is so bad! Exclamation point. I just mute anything that I don't want to see, and after a few months of just looking out for me and not being afraid to take action to curate my own page, I added the own. I really like it here on Twitter.
That's a great quote. Whoever said that is a smart guy. That was way more eloquent than what I just said. Actually, I should have quoted myself. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. Like, taking the time to do so, and I think it's the same for every platform, Facebook, all the social media stuff. If you are willing to curate to what you want, if you have an idea of what you want and you stick with it, I think it'd be a lot better place than it's made to be. Twitter can be exhausting. I have two different layers to my Twitter. I have just, if I'm following you, which I don't follow many people, I do not understand how people follow 1,000 people. I do not. How do you do that? How do you keep up with 1,000 people? I have 260, 250. There's no way I can keep up with everybody. I want to reduce. I had the policy to only have 100 before, and I've totally fallen away from that. I'm gonna have to go into Twitter and like unfollow a ton of people, and then there's just following, and then there's notifications. So I have some people on notifications where Twitter will be like, hey, these are your notifications for the day. I tap on that. I go through all the notifications in particular. Like, I go through like my mentions. So those are the two different layers I use for Twitter.
Wow.
So if I have to see something, if it's super important to me, notifications. If I really want to see it but may not necessarily get to it, I'm following you.
Does Twitter keep your oldest follows at the bottom of your follow list?
Yes, I believe.
Okay. Number one, I'm gonna show you this one. This is so interesting to me.
Your first follower ever.
My Twitter,
or the one that you've held on to longest.
My Twitter follower list is literally a journey of me into streaming.
I bet, yeah.
It so is. So here's you want to see my first one? You can post your first one. You may not still be following. There it is. That is the guy that was the first person I saw on twitch.tv.
Lethal Frag. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I think I remember you talking to me about this.
And he was my first Twitter follower in history. That's it. And I said, wow. And here it is. No longer active on Twitter. 24,000 followers.
Wow, really?
But look at his follow count. He is following 6,000 people.
How? I don't understand how you do it.
That's why he's no longer active. It's because all the 6,000 of those yahoos drove him nuts.
I think this comes back to curating your page. You got to not be afraid to cut somebody. I experience anxiety unfollowing someone because I feel like other people take it super seriously.
Hey, all right. You want some ball washing? You ready?
Everybody, hit it up. All right, you ready? Let me get a stance here so you can really
get
in there.
You know who my sixth follower ever it was?
This guy,
William Bishop.
Still there too, suckers. All right, unfollow Lethal Frag. Lethal Frag is streaming FTL right now. Nice.
Yeah, it was Lethal Frag, and Twitch was my number 2 follower. I went, what is this Twitch thing? What is going on here? And then I went to Terraria, and I followed 4 Terraria streamers: Fenced In, MC, Fuzzles, and William Bishop.
Yo, Z1, what's up, man? How you doing? It's good to see you, buddy.
And Terraria Official. There it was. There it is. That's and Terraria Official's number 7. There you go.
Oh wow, beat Terraria Official. Nice.
Yeah. So that is my that's my
I'm in your first 5. History. Dang, dude, that's awesome. I guess we've been around for a minute now.
You've been around for a minute. Yep.
It's cool to be like that. So I'm only following 247 people actually.
Yeah, 212. But all the people I hear from, I almost never hear from. I'm looking way back in the Wayback Machine. I almost never hear from them. All right.
Let me scroll down.
Interesting.
You had to Twitter account well before you started streaming. I only made mine for streaming, for sure.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, Clowntown Vids was once I decided on my name.
Wow, this is crazy. For me, is this the bottom, really? Zenigami, number 1 person that I've
There you go.
Pedguin, number 2. Number 3, OX33. Number 4, Senex.
Yep.
Number 5, this podcast. Number 6, StackUp.org. Number 7, Relogic. Number 8, Helping Hands. Number 9, Terraria Official.
That has to have been curated because you've definitely
I took it in control
for this to be top
dead.
10. You had to have cleared out a bunch more.
I cleared out quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them died. Some of them I stopped wanting to engage with.
Yep.
There's lots of reasons.
Yeah.
I unfollow and follow sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to listen to what you have to say. Sometimes I'll come back. I think it's free to do, really.
Tons of these. I'm looking through my Twitter followers now. Tons of these people are silent for years.
People that you were following and you've never seen. I wonder if Twitter's
that
muting them for you.
never come back into my feed.
You played Terraria for the first time today? Oh my gosh, Z1. We should definitely co-op together.
Guys, go follow Z1. He's a big deal.
What are you doing on Tuesday, Z? Tuesday noon,
Yeah.
Tuesday noon CDT.
That's right. Tuesday. Make an appointment.
6 p.m. GMT is when I start.
Level up your Terraria game and your Twitch, Z1. Partner with Badger, man.
No, it's cute as
Level
Boof.
up.
Boof, but I'll still take you on. Boof? Boof?
Pronounce that name for me.
Boof?
Boof.
Beef?
Beef. Okay, done.
Not as cute as beef. Beefcake?
Done. Beef. All right, you're beef from now on. I just screenshot.
I got no beef. I'm a vegetarian.
Beef.
Dude, you flex? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't. That's interesting that it keeps it that way. That Twitter is it keeps your followers in order like that. That's interesting. Did you know? DYK. Did you know? There is right now, on certain circumstances, a 20% bit bonus.
What is going on with that? I saw it a couple times, but it doesn't come through sometimes. What's going on with that?
Right. If anybody has any specific beef, it's Boof. It calls me Beef. I may join that Ped. I may join Ped and call you Beef.
Tuesday.
Boof, pleasure to meet you. My name's
Tuesday,
Pound
6
Town.
p.m. GMT, noon CDT. Z1. What's up?
So here, okay. So the way it was explained to me, let me break this down a little bit. There was a third party. It was probably Badger. You'll recall this. You may even recall the name. It was 3 or 4 months ago, where Twitch partnered. I think it was might have been Coca-Cola, and there was a Coca-Cola promo that they were going to pitch in. Subway. Yes, they were going to pitch in. It was a third-party company that said, "Here, you put in 5 and we'll put in 1, right? Or you put in, if you tag Subway in your bit donation, you put Eat Fresh. That's what it was. Yes, it was Eat Fresh.
Yeah, that's right.
Something.
If you just put Eat Fresh in,
if you just put Eat Fresh, Subway will pitch in 20% on whatever you tipped. If you're a viewer, you tip 1 or 100. Subway, Subtimber. That's what it is. And it tipped 20%. I don't know what Hafala's had to Hafala's tipped me 100, and then 100 bits, and then
$100 in bit. Oh, 100 bits.
No, 100 bits. And then it said bonus 20, and I think all he had to do was bonus, and he said that it was something to do with Amazon Prime partnering. And guys, that is amazing.
That's a ton of money.
Because Twitch is not that big of a company, but they landed a huge account from Amazon Prime. Amazon's one of the biggest companies. I'm just kidding.
It's Amazon.
I know they're okay.
Bit emote for hunters. Is there a link for this, guys? Because this is
Amazon
a pretty
Prime's
important
Hunter
information.
Show. Yes, we need. If there's someone who has the specific hunter cheer, is that what it was? If someone has a note about that or an article, because I went looking for 20% bonus, Twitch, bits, all that business, all that stuff. And Hafala says he only saw it when you click the bit symbol.
Oh, snap.
Right?
Okay.
So it didn't really lead me back to whatever product. Like those 20 bits didn't get me closer to me wanting to talk about or watch whatever they were trying to promote for their 20 bits, right? For their 20%. I don't know. But yeah, I get the ad too. I get that ad is that I keep seeing the ad for the Hunt Show. It's the most talked about that no one's ever seen. That I don't know.
Okay, so what I'm seeing
might
here,
get 40 on Rotten Tomatoes, might not. I don't know.
What I'm seeing here is that give more bits to the streamer. Amazon Prime Video Hunter bits. The Amazon Prime Video Hunter's cheer emote gives 20% bonus bits when you cheer 5% or more. And there's an emote for this.
Yeah. But that's the issue is
Okay.
that I knew Eat Fresh was an ad that made me want to go get a Subway sandwich, right?
I have no
But-
idea what Hunters is. Is this show?
Exactly. That's my point. Is what are you getting for those those 20, or other than generating curiosity and not knowing where to go, right?
It's the very first that she ran list. Great. Okay, so streamers out there, listen. If you need to talk to your audience about this, because 20% is a freaking huge deal. That
it's big.
That takes up what they're paying a big time. So on your streams, you need to pull up Twitch chat on screen. You can click on the bit thing, specifically show. There you go, Javante. Specifically show the bit, the emote that needs to be used, and the 20%, and talk about it. Because getting 20% free money is 20% free money. It's 20% more donations for you. It's 20% more donations for them as well. They get. This is something that we need to talk about and promote a lot. Okay,
big time.
As long as it's around, 20% is huge. That's a big.
By the way,
the Subway was 10%. By the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, cost viewer $0.
That's why it's so important. It costs you $0.
$0 for that extra
just knowledge
to support that streamer. So, very good. Yeah, it's a show on Amazon Prime. But okay, so Javon, that's my point. Is how? Thank you for those bits, by the way. But how do I get that emote back to the Hunt show and get it to where I'm hyped up for Amazon Prime, the Hunt show? What's that link?
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree with Corbob. I think that this is a problem on Twitch's side, that they did not let us know about this.
Maybe it's gonna.
Is that right, Ika? It's 1 penny to 1 penny? Great, dude. That's epic.
That's great.
I'd never buy bits. I would do direct donos or gift subs, basically, for me.
Yes. But so maybe it's something that they turned on tonight that they're gonna blow up tomorrow morning, Monday morning. And
it was on Friday. I want to say that I had that the first time. Yeah, I want to say. I think it might be 30%.
So
it's
Chris
closer to
is
1
correct.
cent.
It is on pre-roll every single time I click into anybody's channel. It is that Hunt ad is there for so many times.
Okay, so it's a little bit short of 1C with the 1C. At least it's a ton better, in fact.
It's way better, right?
Yeah, 20% is massive. That's such a big deal.
Yeah, but but Hafala's was the giver. I am the receiver, and neither of us really figured out that it was the Hunt show. that it was right. But if there's two pretty smart dudes that they're going, wait, what's extra? Okay, cool. And we never did tie it back to being able to either of us to talk or get hyped for the Amazon Prime show called The Hunt.
I think that matters the least. Let's just make sure that we talk to our communities about getting this. All the streamers out there, make sure you grab onto this. At least talk about it. Whenever you get a cheer, it might be worthwhile, especially if it's a cheer that doesn't use the emote. It's definitely worthwhile. Right. Thinking about getting $100 worth of bits with a 20% increase. That's $20 in the pocket. That's a big deal. Lauren says that I actually get less bits since the gifted subs leaderboard was introduced. I find that I engage with the leaderboard pretty consistently. I try to engage with the leaderboard once a day. And what I mean by that is take Twitch chat on screen and then read out every name on the leaderboard. Switch leaderboards, read out every name on the leaderboard. That's how I do it. And I guess it's hard to say for me since I've experienced so much growth pretty much all the time recently. I don't feel like I've gotten any less bits or less subs on because of the leaderboard.
Really? What'd you do in January? Why was it such a good month?
got some. You know me, not doing much.
Just hanging out,
finding a couple lights in my life, as you do.
As you do. You know how we do.
As we do.
Yeah. Hype trains are pretty good too. There's a couple streamers that poo-pooed that and shut them off. Yeah, I could see their point.
Yeah, same. 100%. I could definitely see a lot of points.
I could definitely see their
why
point.
They don't like hype trains.
Right.
I don't know that I like hype train either.
Yeah, I could totally see their points. I guess I've been on the receiving end of a couple. Probably not as many as you see. Beef, I don't blame you for shutting it off. Hey, 100 bits for you is $224.
God, that's expensive. Dang.
Yeah,
that's
I don't blame you for shutting it off. It's a little, I don't know. It's a little thing, It's in that category of a little shameless, I think.
yeah. I think that there is that thing. I don't know how to best because
it's not ill-gotten gains.
Right.
It's not.
Sure.
It's not ill-gotten gains. Everybody's consenting to this relationship. Right?
Unnecessary pressure for a little reward. I think that's what I think too. I feel like the reward is not big enough for me to hype up. You might get an emote. At this point, I've got all the emotes, so I don't even get an emote. I can't even be like, hey, you'll get me an emote if you get me level 5, because you won't. Like, you can't give me an emote. The only way you can get emote right now is insane level, which is what I have mine set to now, is insane level. And I've gotten one insane level emote so far. So Hype Train needs to be fleshed out entirely. Hype Train conceptually, streamers have been doing that forever, since the beginning of time. And it's a natural effect that happens with the audience. When as a donation comes in, there's a chance that it'll snowball. And that snowballing is really what you pick up on, and how you end up hype training yourself by just, getting excited. You yourself are getting excited, the audience is getting excited, and Twitch is like, this is a thing that happens. Donations come in strings. Let's channel it.
Let's put some guardrails on it.
Right.
Let's put some incentives out there.
But
I get it.
I think the guardrails actually ruin it, sort of. Like, it makes it less hypey to have the hype train counter. This is how many subs we need to reach the next level. The only thing that I've seen that's effective with it is looking at, hey, this is what we need to complete this hype train, because it's like a small goal-based system. Is saying out loud, I need 10 more gift subs right now to complete this next level of hype train. That seems to be kind of effective. That's the only good thing, though. And but then, what is the reward? It's kind of bad. The rewards kind of suck. Like, you don't get a cool badge permanently. You don't even get an emote permanently. You don't. I don't know.
But at the same time, before then, before the unmanaged hype trains were still, you got nothing for the unmanaged hype trains. I mean, some of the greatest experiences of my streaming career were unprompted, out of the blue, just crazy donations, and some of the more broken I have been on stream was when there were like multiple direct $20, $50, $100 donations coming out of nowhere, and I had to get off and go cry. I stayed here and cried, and then I had to go get off and cry. Right? It was crazy, and there's really no reward other than you get to break the streamer's emotions. Right?
Yeah, really.
So, I don't know.
Gotta agree on that.
That was the only reward, and now a hype train may have the same effect, but now you get an emote for a time, I guess. I don't know, but
I don't also know how exactly it works, to be honest.
Right. So beef on, it's less organic of a thing that happens, right? If a hype train guides people to throw down and you end up getting $200, that's a thing. If back in the early days, when I had, when I was averaging something like, 12 to 15 viewers a stream, and $200 came in a single night, it wrecked my face open. It wrecked my face, and it was super. And I guess the difference is it's super organic, and it was one of the more meaningful things that had ever happened to me. But there was no reward other than to get to see me cry on stream.
That's the only reason people donate, is to see streamer cry on stream anyway. So,
I mean, it happened. It hapned. So
people like that.
And some streamers, I get it.
God, this is a big cat.
This that is Annabelle, the non-scared one. This is one of the greatest dogs you'll ever meet if you get to see Annie in person. Is Annie in person. Isabel, you may see her back end running away from you. Izzy's great too, but you will not see, you will rarely see her face other than looking over her shoulder as she runs away.
Sweet with me though. Sweet with her owners.
Yep. She did let me pet her that one time, right?
That one time.
Isabel
and then she
came up and
no, I'm just kidding.
She never bit me, but she had most of her body was away, and she was just giving me just the head, and let me scratch her, and then I kind of shifted my weight.
Nope, I'm out of here.
Nope, I'm out.
I think when people see a timer and they have to donate in some way, it keeps it to keep it going. The next level is why the hype train works. I agree with that assessment of the hype train, and that is a thing that definitely works, except the hype train does not very clearly tell you exactly what you need to be successful. I wish it would say, this is exactly how many bits, this is exactly how many gift subs you need, but it doesn't.
Maybe.
It says you need this amount of bits and this amount of gift subs to complete the level. If it had the timer and then a number of subs or a number of bits there, it'd be much more effective in that way, easy one. Because otherwise I have to say it out loud. 6 consoles, as we always do.
Hype train and Hunter's cheer. Maybe. So here's what I would expect is what I'm hoping is to see some articles or some news blogs or something, or at least an email about what the Hunter's cheer is tomorrow.
Better.
That would make sense. Maybe do a weekend of some mystery and get us talking about what is this thing, and then Monday says, okay, We're hitting it hard. Here's what we want everybody to do. Go see this movie, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
I wish they had
6
done more.
consoles!
It feels weird to me that they didn't encourage us
8
to do
controllers!
this. 20% is a big deal. Usually they make a tweet about this kind of thing, you know, to say, hey, 20% is here. You need to do. The people at Twitch should have our back, and it feels like they didn't this time.
Right.
It's a TV show, not even a movie. What's the difference? Who knows?
Isn't Game of Thrones just one long ass movie?
It
I don't know.
sort of is. All right, let's wrap this up and we will rate
All right,
somebody.
let's do before we go, let's do Blake's Internet Corner.
Okay.
And we're gonna look at one thing. This thing is called I don't want to talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm sort of ready. I don't know if I'm that ready.
Okay, hit that link. And we'll just do something funny that Blake found on the internet. This is Blake's Internet Corner. You put that up.
Oh God.
This man. He's had a day. He looks sore. He looks tired. He just wants to sit down right here. He's got his dogos. The dogos are a little bit muddy, I would say.
And he just looks.
Don't really
no
want to
expression.
talk about. No
The
expression,
dogs-
really.
The dogs are as expressionless
Yeah.
as he is.
They're like yeah, okay.
Okay.
Shaking a little bit.
And look at the. I would say if we were to put all of those things on a scale and weigh them, there is probably 4 times dog mass than there is human.
There's a
mass,
lot
right?
of dog mass there. Those are big
And
dogs, muscle dogs too.
Those dogs decided.
To go somewhere.
Those dogs decided what they were going to do that day,
Yeah.
and they pulled him along.
And it was mud too. Is this
And it
window
was mud.
behind him? The glass behind him is broken as well. I don't know if you noticed. This is a really nice gate. This is somewhere in China, I feel like, or something like
Oh,
that.
it's a nice gate. It was probably someone was walking dogs for an owner.
Yeah.
Right?
Got back
This
to
is
the
the
home.
official dog walker, and he came back.
Just like, oof. Oof. My life.
I don't want to talk
I
about
don't want
it.
to talk about it. Very nice. Good share there, Blake. I appreciate it a lot. That's really good stuff. Okay, so as we get out of here, let's talk about Flesh's podcast again.
Yeah. Anchor
Education
FM /
I think I had the link.
whatever it is.
Flesh 177.
Plus 177 there.
Definitely going to change that to anchor.fm / speedrun education. Question mark?
Yeah.
Exclamation
Yeah.
point?
I don't know if I can change that, but I probably can.
Well, yeah, I feel like branding. I'm going to end up on Flesh's podcast, okay? So make sure you guys go engage with it. Go start the YouTube channel. It's got a Spotify playlist and stuff like that. I love this topic. I love educating people on speedrunning, and I would that's why we wanted Flesh to be on here, so you guys could go check it out, okay?
Good.
So do me a solid. Go check out anchor.fm /177. There's good stuff there. There's already a bunch of podcasts on there if you want to listen to. Thanks for being here, Flesh. Appreciate it. We'll do some stuff together in the future.
Yeah.
Flesh, what do you got coming up?
Yeah.
What do you got coming up on your podcast? Got any good guests coming up?
So tomorrow I will record the current world record holder of SMB1, Super Mario Bros. 1, and we talk about him and his mentality about it. And the other topic we are going to talk about, I will probably record 2 episodes, is the entire world record culture, because many viewers see that people running for world record is like a rivalry between 2 people, but ultimately it's more like a community thing.
Yes.
Like the community, there are people who discover glitches, there are people who make out the route, and then there are the top runners who ultimately compete with each other to motivate themselves to get the time down as much as possible. And that's like a topic I feel like in especially popular games or in many Zelda games recently, because they have had big discoveries. There are like people coming to one stream and say, hey, the other runner is at a good pace. Hey, the other runner just got trick XYZ. Now the other runner got world record or a PB, whatever. And it just stresses out the streamer itself. And it's like really a topic I believe most people who watch speedruns don't really get. And that's like extremely sad.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think you're absolutely right about your assessment on that.
You're right.
I feel
You're right.
I feel like more friends than rivals with Max Overpower. Like
Yeah, totally.
Blake, what you got?
Until there's a $5,000 prize pool, and then I will cut everybody's throat.
Okay, you know
that
what reality
needs
is
to
on
be in
that?
front of me.
Let me break down reality for that, because StarCraft 2 players do a cut a lot of time. I'm second place. We're gonna do semifinals or the finals. Okay, we come sit down to dinner and we're like, all right, no, doesn't matter who wins. You get 50%, I get 50%. We'll put the first, second place together.
Favorite nations.
There
Favorite
you go.
nations.
I mean,
Right.
it's so that even legitimately when there is money on the table, players are still friends and will still be like, hey, let's both bring home money no matter what happens.
Right.
So what Blake we got going on?
All right. Well, we got PAX East. Badger and I got PAX East starting on Wednesday. I'll be there on Wednesday. So
stoked.
streaming probably Monday, Tuesday, and getting it done. And then I will be there midday on Wednesday, and we are staying there till Monday. My next stream will probably be Monday, maybe even Tuesday, depending on how exhausted I am and what the family's doing. But we will be there starting Wednesday night. So follow us. If you're not following us on Twitter, follow twitter.com/TVGBadger. You can put that link in the chat, and I'll put my Clowntown vids link in the chat.
When you're not going to East, what the heck, man? It's the biggest con. It's the good one of the year. It's like my favorite.
It's a big one, and the immortal one, powerful Dizzy Disaster will be there. Diz brings a crew,
an army, a platoon. He brings
a platoon of people there, and Dizzy is one of the biggest personalities that you will see.
Dizzy's one I'm going. He's one of the
Hurricane Dizzy makes landfall on East like nowhere else.
You don't mess around. It's gonna be even worse this year.
Yes.
Because I know me and Blake are rolling with Dizzy, basically. So Dizzy's got a lot of people who are rooting out for him.
Has Dizzy done worse or better this year than last year?
Crushing it this year. Oh my God, he's really doing super well.
I'm super looking forward to hanging with him again. And by the way, one of the best interactions at PAX East was when I was working the Tiny Build booth and Dizzy was walking by with his entourage. I jumped in front of him to stop him, and I said, "Dizzy, hey man!" And he's looking at me strange. I said, "Hey man, it's Clowntown." He goes, "Oh, hey man!" Big hug, and then his face was like this, and then he goes, real intense. "Come with us. We're on a mission." What? It was like what? Dizzy Disaster. So he got super serious, like whispering in the "We're on a mission," and I went, "Oh." And I said, "Oh, sorry, I can't. I'm working the booth. Let's just catch up later." He's like, "Yeah." So he went out. So he went on, but it was really great. Yeah, kind of crazy, 100% awesome.
So I think West was previously called Prime, and it's technically the biggest. But I went to West last year, I went to East last year, I went to South last year. For me, East was way better than West was. But I mean, West might be bigger for me this year. We'll see. I'm going to West too. So
we'll see.
Hopefully, God, West was so expensive last year because freaking Blake didn't come. So expensive to pay for my own.
I had to choose. I had a nice room there.
It was.
I made the right choice.
Yeah,
I had to choose between that.
For sure, you did. But Seattle was so nice. Oh my God, I loved it. Okay, for me, I got stream on Tuesday. I'm very likely taking one day off. Tuesday, I have the room with Hot Potato, and I'll be doing some speedruns. Might play with Z1 Gaming for the first time at Terraria also.
And then we're out.
And then I'm leaving to East, yes, but that does not mean streams are going to stop for me. I'm going to try to do daily streams, okay? We have ordered a gun run backpack, which is a special live streaming backpack. So we'll be walking around the city of Boston, live streaming to you nerds, all right? So make sure you tune in for that. I think it'll be very intense. Some of the things that I'm going to try to do is stop strangers on the corner and be like, "Hey, how are you doing today? Can you talk to the camera with us?" We're gonna eat food together. We're gonna sit down in a restaurant together. We're gonna have conversations. I want to have it be like you're there with me. Is the intention? All right. Now there's gonna be a cutoff point where we stop the live streams. You're not gonna get to see all the cool stuff, especially maybe not the nightlife. But you should still be able to be much more involved with me and everyone who's there and all my friends and stuff like that doing the IRL sessions during.
Very much a daytime endeavor.
Yeah. So twitch.tv/Badger. That's where that's all going to be at. We're going to be doing our IRL streaming content, and I personally feel like this content is one of the ways forward for me to do more stuff because turns out I really like traveling. I get motion sick a lot. I hate planes, but I like being in new places. Thanks for being here, everybody. Stay motivated. That's the most important thing.
Can confirm.
Blake, my favorite actually is Blake. I don't have my lactose intolerance pills, and this was like red alert mode. It was like, we need to solve this quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Right. Okay. I'm headed. Me and other person. I'm going to Walgreens right. I'm going to CVS right now. Let me know the brand. I'll take pictures for you. We're gonna go get this solved right now. I
loved it. It was just like because it was such a thing that we had to do.
It will be a health issue. It will be an issue. Like it will wreck.
Yeah, exactly. It'll wreck.
It'll wreck his face. We got to do it.
So. All right, we're gonna go raid Glurms. We're gonna be seeing Glurms at East, and he's gonna be also taking part in our live streams there. So we're gonna go do some Twitch raid over there. Some Badger Clan raid. If you guys want to help me with that, I appreciate it. Stay motivated. All right.
Don't report me because he's guns on stream. No one report this.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Stay motivated. That's the most important thing. If you're motivated, you can do anything. Stay awesome because you know you're awesome. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for tuning into this. We really appreciate it. And remember, stretch.
Flesh, do this.
Yeah, Flesh, will you salute for us?
Well, what should I do? What should I do?
Like this?
Oh God.
Stretch.
Okay,
salute.
good.
Okay,
I can do that.
Good. Perfect.
See you. Thanks, man.
Thanks.